Welcome back to Afternoon Live. Okay, the 90s are back, and not just in fashion, but in home decor as well. So here to share easy ways we can incorporate some of the latest trends in our homes, we welcome back Realtor and home design expert Tegan Enloe. Great to see you.
Oh, it's so good to see you too.
Okay, so we got to kind of spell out what we're talking about here.
Yes.
This is a 90s rom-com Nancy Meyers paradise.
Yes, 100%. We've grown up in our houses, right? We've like gone through our minimalist and then through our farmhouse phases.
Okay.
And now we're taking it back to some of our classic movies from the 90s that just invoke like a sense of comfort and home. So like You've Got Mail was a really great one. A bunch of the different Nancy Meyer movies. So like Something's Gotta Give, that beach house, Father of the Bride, homes that were just overflowing with collections of special moments and textures and wallpaper and bowls of fruit and flowers and all the things.
Let's talk about wallpaper first. We've got some images to share of examples because this might be overwhelming to some people, but look at this. I mean, it's such floor to ceiling, literally.
It's such an impact, and that sort of like layered texture and patterns and everything really make it kind of go into that 90s rom-com house. Like if you go back and think about all the ones that are in those scenes, they usually have wallpaper and patterned curtains and all the different things.
Lots of color too. Oh, look at that.
I know.
Wow.
That's one of my favorites. I am still trying to figure out where I can put that in my house.
Yeah, talk about impact.
Yeah, it really does. And in some cases, depending on the wallpaper you pick, you can do a print or you can do a mural wallpaper.
Okay.
And then your whole wall becomes like its own standing piece of art.
That's very cool. Let's talk about some of the pieces that you've brought here. What do we got going on this end?
Okay, so another big trend that we have in this sort of like movement back to like comfy, welcoming homes is art and gallery walls.
Okay.
We've got lots of different pictures in different spots.
Oh, that photo is beautiful.
Every time you go around a corner, you'll see a different gallery of like lovingly picked out things to invoke, like happiness and comfort and joy in your home. So you can do framed posters, you can do collections of things that you love, like plates or vintage medallions or ribbons and medals. I brought some of these different art pieces. These wouldn't necessarily all go together in the same gallery, but I really love the colors and the textures of them. So we've got a bunch of different like acrylics here with flower designs on them. I love this little like dog one over here.
So cute.
And it's just about adding bright, vivid colors and textures to your home.
Yeah,
and
don't be afraid.
Yeah, it's a maximalist. It's not worrying about, being too crowded or too this or too that or too much.
Yeah.
Just like lean into the too much.
Which, speaking of, we have collections of things.
Yes. So another big aspect or concept of that is having things in your home that are specific to you, right? So if you had a bookshelf, right, that was full of a bunch of things, it would be easy to go to, some sort of department store and be like, oh, I'll grab, some vases that look like they coordinate. But the vases aren't necessarily special to you.
Okay.
This sort of like going back to the Nancy Meyers era, the 90s rom-com era, is about finding things that are special to you and displaying them in your home as artistic collections. So these are a couple of things I collect. I collect these little houses. I just think that they're so fun.
Yes.
You can display them on shelving and on your wall. You can do all sorts of different things with them. I have found that if you're trying to incorporate a personalized collection into the design and decor of your home, it looks much more elevated if you group them all together.
Right.
Rather than sprinkle them throughout your home.
Okay.
So I would put these in like one shelving unit together. I also have my porcelain dog collection.
The dogs are too much.
Can you
Look
handle
how cute
the one
they are.
with the little balloon in the front?
Look
like,
how adorable.
It's just so sweet. I know. So I have a bookshelf that has them all in it.
It does make sense to kind of have them all together in all their glory, and then it has that bigger impact all at one time. Let's talk about lamps.
Yes. Okay. So there is this trend going on social media right now, and it's a quote, and it's like, there's not a lot of rules in my house, but the one rule in our home is we don't turn on the overhead light.
Oh no.
And so the whole movement is that you don't use, like your overhead ceiling lights, because they can be a little bit harsher, and you create this warm and welcoming environment by using and lamps everywhere.
Okay.
Now, this might start to sound a little bit weird. I brought some pictures in, but people are putting them in their kitchens. They're putting them in their bookcases. They're putting them in their bathrooms on the counter.
Wow.
So that, like, if you go to, you know, wind down at the end of the day, you're brushing your teeth, you have
That's true.
a
It's a little
light on.
cozier without that harsh fluorescent
Exactly.
overhead lighting.
So I have brought two of my favorite lamps. So this one is just a little small one. It's got like a brass, you know, base to it and everything, and then a little tiny shade. I love this one because it fits perfectly in my half bath downstairs.
That's very cute.
Yeah, and
okay.
then I don't have to, like, you know, turn on the big bright light at night if I just need a
You're
little
right.
ambiance
You're
or-
onto something, and this is a gorgeous piece
That one
too.
is in my kitchen typically.
Okay, we
right
love
behind
that.
my sink.
And our last thing, we don't have time for everything right now, but the last thing is fresh flowers. I mean, always so gorgeous to have on hand.
Yes, flowers are amazing. The ones that invoke, like, I was out in my garden picking.
There you go.
Those are exactly what you want everywhere.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for bringing us all these beautiful things. It's always so much fun to catch up with
Oh,
you.
thank you for having me.
We are inspired. We'll have these tips and more about Tegan on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.